हेलो एंड वेलकम एवरीवन। टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट द स्पार्क कोर्स। स्पार्क की जो आर्किटेक्चर है और उसकी जो वर्किंग है वो मैंने एक पुरानी वीडियो में मैंने डिस्कस ऑलरेडी कर लिया है। तो उस वीडियो का लिंक मैं आई बटन में दे दूंगा या तो डिस्क्रिप्शन में दे दूंगा। यू कैन गो थ्रू दैट। इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट इन द आर्किटेक्चर और द वर्किंग ऑफ द स्पार्क, यू कैन पोस्ट योर क्वेश्चन इन द कमेंट। आई विल ट्राई टू आंसर दैट. So today is going to be the first video specific for the Spark, and in this video I'm trying to start with the Databricks. So in the during the course we'll work with multiple tools, we'll work with the multiple environment. So today we are going to use the Databricks, and in this video we'll also learn that how we are going to start with the free version of the Databricks. अगर दोस्तों आपने मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब करें, मुझे काफ़ी मदद मिलती है। और वीडियो पसंद आए तो वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर जरूर करें, उन लोगों तक जरूर शेयर करें जो लोग डाटा इंजीनियरिंग पाथ में मूव करना चाहते हैं या उसमें एक्सेल करना चाहते हैं। सो हाउ यू विल स्टार्ट विद द डाटाब्रिक्स फ्री वर्जन। तो आगे बढ़ने से पहले मैं ये बता देना चाहता हूँ कि डाटाब्रिक्स हैज़ टू काइंड ऑफ फ्री वर्जन डाटाब्रिक्स देती है। First of all, Databricks is based on some of the cloud. So Databricks can be run on AWS, can run on Google Cloud, or on the Azure. So if you already have a AWS account and you want to use Databricks on top of that for Spark processing, for using it for Spark management, so in that case, Databricks provide you for the 14-day trial version. You can use it with a number of large data set. The other thing is, if you want the Databricks for the study purpose, for your own learning purpose, then Databricks provide you with the Databricks Community Edition, in which Databricks provide its own cluster, one single node cluster, and by default that cluster is a part of AWS, and the storage will be a part of S3 bucket. So today we are going to start with the Community Edition of the Databricks. For that you need to write try Databricks, and you will get this link. Click on that link. You will see here that looking for a Databricks Community Edition. Yes, we are looking for the Community Edition. Click on this. Give your email address. Continue with the email address. You will get the verification code in your email, Gmail, and your setup will start immediately. So I already have a setup. So this is my Databricks setup. So before starting with the Databricks, or before starting with writing the Spark, pyspark, Spark SQL in the Databricks, we should understand few components of Databricks. So Databricks is quite simple. It's very easy to understand. So if in the course I'm a bit fast, then you can slow down the video. आप वीडियो के स्पीड को स्लो करके सुन सकते हो. This is a very simple, and I think most of the people would be knowing that. So I'm going to be a bit fast. In the later time on the later video, if I'm going to discuss a more complicated या कुछ complicated topic को मैं discuss करूँगा, तो उसमें मैं कई तरीके से उसको समझाने की कोशिश करूँगा. I'll be a bit slow in that part of area. So there are few components in the Databricks UI you need to understand. The first is workspace, the second is catalog, and the third is compute. We'll not look into the workflow now. We'll look into workflow later on. Anyway, workflow is not available in the try version or the free version of the Databricks. So what is a workspace? Workspace एक directory structure है where you can write the program, where you can keep your program file. So in Databricks you can write the program in a notebook. So Databricks provide you a notebook, जैसे Jupyter notebook होता है, एक similar kind of notebook Databricks provide. You can use this, can be used for writing the program. If you click on one of the notebook, so you will see that you can write the code of the PySpark here. You will get the output in the same way. You can download the full notebook. You can download and move into some other cluster and run it from some other cluster. So notebook provide you syntax checking. It also gives you the syntax help. Like if I write dot and format, it will try to autofill this one or auto complete. All this feature, like, which is generally available in any of the ID that will be provided in the notebook. So workspace, you can create multiple directory. So if you have want to share this program, like you want other team member to also work on the same program, then you can go into the workspace. There's a share directory. You can click on this. You can create a program. You can create a directory on this. So individually, if in your ID, like I have ID santosh.scc, in this I have created these many notebook. So you can create the notebook by clicking on this. We'll see how to do that. Then we'll move to compute layer. So once you have created the program, so there must be some place where you want to run the program. For example, in Snowflake, if Snowflake is running on the top of AWS, then EC2 machine is used as a compute layer for the Snowflake. Similarly, here we have need to create a cluster. As I have told you, in the community edition of the Databricks, it gives you the single node cluster. It's a single node EC2 cluster. So I have already created a cluster, but if you want to create a cluster, you can create button, create compute layer, and here you have multiple Spark version. The good thing is Spark with a compatible Scala is already been decided here. Like how in the EMR also, if you go, you will have a particular version of the EMR in which the Spark version with a compatible other software version will be there. So this is a good way of starting with the Spark, but you can also do the Spark individually on your desktop, on your machine, and you can download individual Spark, individual Scala, compatible Scala as per the documentation, and you can start with it. We will also see that version in some of the classes. I'm not sure which class we are going to discuss, but in the later of this course we are going to discuss that also, how to do the setup in our local machine. So here we are trying to, we will get this 350 3.5.0 Scala, and you see that 15 GB of memory is freely available. You will be given to you in the community edition, and also if you're not using this compute layer for 1 or 2 hours, then it will be terminated automatically. These are some of the Spark variables which we not need to know now. So this is disabled now because we already have created one cluster, single node cluster. So this is running. Now coming to the catalog. What is a catalog? Catalog is the place where we keep the file. For example, you are writing a program in the PySpark which will read the file and do some computation, do some transformation. So where is that file? That file will be in the DVFS. What is DVFS? DVFS is Databricks file system. So on the top of S3 bucket, the Databricks has created its own file system called DVFS. If you are using some other cloud provider, some other storage device, there will be have a Databricks file system on the top of that storage device. So you can go into it, you can create the file, you can directly upload the file. For example, mango.csv, one CSV file I have uploaded. You can click on upload button, you can directly click on this and you can directly upload the file here. Now other thing is database table. So in database table, by default, you will have a default table in the database. So you can create multiple tables, and in the tables you can create the table on the same thing, and you can start working on that. So the three important thing is workspace, where we keep the program, catalog where we keep the data, and compute where we have the CPU. Fine. Now we'll start with creating some of the programs, and we'll try to see how it get executed in the Databricks. So now we'll start with the program. We have a workspace. So we'll start like just say in the PySpark, we are going to write the Python program, PySpark program, and that will be written on the Spark framework. So I'll advise that don't you just put your separate timing on learning the data frame. Focus on writing the program. It's easy. Data frame is easy to write. The PySpark data frame. That same data frame can be similar kind of data frame is used for the Scala also. So I have a program called Mango. It's a simple program in which I'm going to read one file which have some Mango data. You can see the output. There is a place and Mango type and the price. I want to take the average of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use spark.read. What is this Spark? It's a connecting to the Spark. When you create a cluster, it creates the Spark context, Spark session to connect to the Spark cluster. So in this case, you are going to read a read method you are using to read all the any kind of files which in the Spark system, and you can specify what kind type of file you are going to read. So in the format I have mentioned, it's a CSV. There are multiple options. We'll see how to see all that options. So in my case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read a CSV file in which the first line is a header and try to infer the schema, try to understand the schema by the data set. And this is the path, and this path, how I will get it, I'll just go into this catalog, and you go to DVFS, and this file, you can just click on this and copy the path. Fine. So how to run this? You have multiple options. Control Enter will also run it. You can run all the cell together, or you can directly click on this and run it. But before that, any program, if you have written, that needs to attach to some of the compute layer, because this is a program, it needs some compute layer to run it. So you need to attach to the machine. So here you see there is no machine. So if I click on that, one of the cluster is running. So I'll click on that. So it's got connected. Now I can run this. If I click on this, it's waiting. It will get submitted into the Spark cluster, and then accordingly it will get executed. .so is for seeing the top 20 records of the data frame. So this is a data frame. DF, what it will be created will be a data frame. So you will see in the answer now. The single node machine, first time for the first run, it takes some time to run. So the very good thing is you get the Spark job to see it here itself. Otherwise, you can see all this detail. If you're not using Databricks, you can see all this Spark job detail into the Spark UI. And ultimately this Spark UI, it has taken the detail from the Spark UI itself. The Databricks is integrated into that. Now you can see what is the DF. DF is a data frame. Okay, this data frame, and these are the three columns. Place is a string type, mango type is a string, and price integer. It has inferred the schema by itself. You can later point of time we'll see that how we can manually create the schema, right? And with the dot show command, I can see in a tabular structure. So I'll also tell you what is RDD, data frame. Data frame is nothing. It's a RDD plus schema. I'm not going into the RDD details now, but in some of the videos I will discuss more into the RDDs, because that is the fundamental building block for the Spark, and that we should know. We are not going to use RDD for any of the programming written logic, but we should know the building blocks of the Spark. So data frame. If you ask me what is data frame, I'll tell it's an RDD plus schema, nothing else. But we have a different definition for the data frame if you look into any other blog or any of the documentation. So this is the data. Now I'm going to select few columns. We have three columns. I want to select place and price. I want to create the average grouping on the place. So what I have done, df dot, what is the df? Df is this data dot select these two column, place and price, group by on place, do the average of price, the aggregate function we have used, and dot sorting, and it will show you the result. Now you see I have imported one library called avj. So in the pyspark SQL function we have average. Similarly we have summation and everything. You can also import star, but I want to don't want to make it heavy, this notebook, so I have imported only average, and this can be shown here. Now there is one more thing, like dot show is a Spark function, like it's a data frame function, data frame API. Now if you want to display it in a more better way, then you can use display result. Now display is the command from the Databricks on the top of Spark. It's not a part of any of the Spark version. It's a Databricks command. So it shows the table in a more better way. You can see that it shows in a very good way, in a more database way. So here you can see that it's a very kind of raw way, and here it's more polished way of displaying the data. Further, if you are using display, you can go into visualization, and you can click edit visualization. You can create any kind of graph, and then you can save it. You can see it a graphical form of the data. So this is very good, very handy in visualizing the result. Also you can create the table out of this data. This data which we have, you can create a table out of it. Table means I'm going to create a view. So what I will do, result is a data frame, final data frame, create global temp view, and the result underscore view. So this name is the view name. So where it gets stored, it will get stored into our global temp. Any global temporary views, global temporary tables, if you are going to create, it will get into the hidden database called global temp. This is a hidden database, you cannot see it, and there if you do the select star from this database and the view name, you can see the same output in a tabular form. When you're going to write the SQL in the same notebook, try to change the language. You have multiple options, so you can change it into SQL. So this is a very simple way of writing the program. You would have understood how we write a program in the PySpark. So similarly, step by step, we'll see all the commands and everything how it runs. One more thing, I'll suggest you to go to spark.org. This one. So if you want to learn about what all data frames are available, read APIs, or which all methods are there in the read, so you'll go into this Spark Apache org, go into the latest release. Then from here you can check the API. I'm going to write in the Python PySpark. So I'll go into the Python, and here the API reference is there. You can see Spark SQL. If you click on Spark SQL, your all the session, how you are creating data frame and everything will be there. So for example, I'm going to let's go back into this Spark session. If I click on Spark session, you can see how it is writing Spark session dot master app name. So you can explore more into it, and you have Spark in the Spark session itself. There are multiple options. You can see it. If you go down, you will have something called reader somewhere. So here we have a data frame reader. You can directly read the CSV file. You can give the format. So you can explore this. You will get to learn multiple things about the data frame, but don't get more into it. This can be used as your reference point. You can refer it from here, but not more than that is required as of now. So you have data frame, everything, aggregate, which we have used now. So how it can be used, you can click on this. What is collect, what is count. So these are just the database function. You can also for each, everything is grouped by we have used now. So you have all the things here. So I'll suggest not to just go through that, but don't learn everything. While writing the code itself, you will learn about how these are being used. So this was a kind of introductory session of how to get started with the Spark. I'll advise you to go through my earlier videos for the Spark architecture, and we'll meet again with the new video of the Spark. फिर मिलेंगे स्पार्क के नई वीडियो के साथ और गेटिंग इनटू मोर ऑफ द डाटा फ्रेम ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, डाटा फ्रेम एक्शन एंड मोर इनटू हाउ वी कैन स्टोर द आउटपुट एंड आई विल आल्सो एक्सप्लोर द अदर टूल्स. तब तक के लिए अपना ख्याल रखें. किसी भी तरह का डाउट्स, किसी भी तरह का कंफ्यूजन है, यू कैन पोस्ट इट इन द कमेंट. इफ यू डोंट वांट टू पोस्ट इन द कमेंट, यू कैन डायरेक्टली राइट द क्वेरीज टू मी. यू कैन मेल मी द क्वेरी एंड आई विल हैप्पी टू आंसर दैट. तब तक के लिए अपना ख्याल रखें. टेक केयर एंड हैप्पी लर्निंग.